everybody has an interesting story how they became a Hare Krishna. You got your story, I got mine. Everybody's story is fascinating, actually. So Narada Muni also has a very fascinating story how he became a Hare Krishna. So we'll look at one verse, and then we'll kind of go back and look through the verses of the whole chapter to get a feeling of what's going on here. We're going to start off, we're going to chant verse number 5, First Canto, chapter 6, text 5. And then we'll go back and get a context of what was being spoken of here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narada Uvacha.
Narada Uvacha.
Vikshabe Vravasit. Bukshabe Vipravasite. Vijnana Drishtibir Mama. Vartamana Vyasyadye. Tata Etad Akarshanam. Akarasham. Yeah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Sri Dandigos Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Sri Narada said, the great sages who imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way. Purport. In his previous life, when Narada Ji was impregnated with spiritual knowledge by the grace of the great sages, there was a tangible change in his life, although he was only a boy of 5 years. This is an important symptom visible after initiation by the bona fide spiritual master. Actual association with devotees brings about a quick change in life for spiritual realization. How it so acted upon the previous life of Sri Narada Muni is described by and by in this chapter. So let's get a context of what's going on here. It'll be the translations for all the verses here, starting with text 1. Very interesting story, by the way. Very interesting story. How he came to Krishna consciousness. Okay, text 1, just the purport, just the verses. Sutta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, this incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Sri Vyasadeva said, what did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth? In the previous lifetime you get trained up. Pretty amazing. O son of Brahmana, how did you pass your life after initiation, and how did you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course? O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course, so how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? A previous day of Brahma, wow, amazing. Narada said, the great sages who imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way. And then today's verse again. I was the only son of a maidservant. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a different verse, yeah. I was the only son of a maidservant. My mother, who was known not only a simple woman, but a maidservant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with a tie of affection. She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master. When I was a mere child of 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of different lands. Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent, influenced by supreme time. I took this as the special mercy of the Lord who always desires benediction for his devotees, and so thinking, I started for the north. I mean self-realization. After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers, fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests which were the play targets of snakes, owls, and jackals. Thus traveling, I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry, so I took a bath in a river lake and also drank the water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate on the super soul, situated within, using my intelligence I had learned from liberated souls.
Sit down to meditate on the super soul. Wow.
Yeah, as soon as I began to meditate on the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with mind transformed and transcendental love, tears rolled down from my eyes. Without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared in the lotus of my heart. Wow, I saw directly darshan of Krishna, can you imagine? What an exalted soul he was. A young kid, can you imagine? O Vyasa, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could see not both myself and the Lord. The transcendental form of the Lord as it is, it satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up being perturbed as is usual and loses that which is desirable. A desire to see again the transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view the forming, I could not see him any more, and thus satisfied, I was very much aggrieved. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who was transcendental to all mundane descriptions, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words just to mitigate my grief. Krishna spoke to him, can you imagine? Wow. Oh, Narada, the Lord spoke, I regret that during this lifetime you'll not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service, who are not completely free from all material taints, can hardly see me. Wow. O virtuous son, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you'll be freed from all material desires. By service of the Absolute Truth, even for a few days, the devotee attains firm and fixed intelligence in me. Consequently, he goes on to become my associate in the transcendental world and giving up the present deplorable material worlds. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Thus, that supreme authority, personified by sound and unseen by eyes, but most wonderfully stopped speaking, feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered obeisance unto him, bowing my head. So you got to see him, you got to hear from him, and now let's see what happens next. Thus, I've been chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are all benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied and free from pride and envy. So just see, he felt dissatisfied. The form was revealed to him, and he couldn't see the form, and then he could hear the Lord speaking. He couldn't hear anymore, but now by chanting, he was fully satisfied and become free from pride and envy. Just by this chanting process. Just see the power of chanting. And so, O Brahmana Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and it was therefore no attachments, being completely free from all material taints, met with death as lightning, and elimination occurs simultaneously. So he died, left his body in previous lifetime. Having been awarded a transcendental body, befitting an associate of the personality, got to quit the body, made it five material elements, and thus acquired all fruitive results of work. Stop. So you got a transcendental body now. That's how he became a liberated spaceman, a transcendental body. But he's telling how he became the great liberated spaceman. He's giving the story of how it happened. It's amazing how his story of how he became a devotee, pretty amazing story. Let's see about any further things here. The end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him, along with all created elements, and I also entered through his breathing. After 4,300,000,000 solar years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and so on were created from the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. Since then, by the grace of the Almighty Lord, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in the transcendental world and the three divisions of the material world. This is because I am fixed in unbroken devotional service of the Lord. Just imagine, you go back and forth between the material world and the spiritual world. Just imagine. You come to the earth planet, you go to Goloka, you can come back to Brahmaloka, anywhere with all the multi-universe you can go. Just imagine. You call him the liberated spaceman. Can you imagine? He's not spaced out like us neophytes. Our mind is going here and there, He's fixed. Because of that, he can travel anywhere throughout all of existence. So there's this amazing chapter, that's all I can say. And thus I travel constantly singing the transcendental messages of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called a veena, which is charged with transcendental sound, has been given to me by Lord Krishna. Wow. Supreme Lord Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appears in the seat of my heart as if called for as soon as I begin to chant his holy activity. So just see how this applies to us neophyte devotees here, sitting here in Vrindavan Dhamat and MVT A17101. How does it apply to us? You see? Well, you can also become a liberated spaceman or spacewoman, either. There's no restriction. Many times I've noted here in this chapter the science of God. Vijnana, the transcendental science. You see, normally people think of religion as some kind of a, sentimental belief. Well, I believe. I firmly believe. Just like this one guy's invited me, and he said, Abhay Charan Basu, He invited me again and again, trying to argue that the name Rama can only apply to Ramachandra or Balarama, it can't apply to both. He says, I firmly believe this. You see, it's not a measure of belief. Well, I think, I believe. Well, I think that iron is gold, so I'm going to go down to the real estate agent with my bag of iron to buy a new house. I may think it's gold, but nobody else will take from as gold. You see. So I may think something, that's not scientific, that's called sentiments. So we don't think that Krishna is God. We can actually realize that Krishna is God by following the footsteps of Sri Narada Muni. He's one of our predecessor acharyas. We're in the disciplic line, you see, Krishna, and then Brahmaji, Naradaji, Vyasadeva. So by this process, connecting with a bona fide spiritual master, we're actually connecting with all these great sages. In other words, When you connect with anyone, you connect with Srila Prabhupada, you connect with your bona fide spiritual master. These things actually connect you with Narada Muni. You're actually connected with Narada Muni. Did you know that? Did you know that? By hearing from the bona fide spiritual master, you're directly in contact with Narada Muni. You say, well, how can you say that? Well, I have my proof. I'm not speculating, I have proof. Prabhupada said, but reading the Nectar Devotion directly associated with Rupa Goswami. Now, Prabhupada has given us the Nectar Devotion. We have a summary study written by Prabhupada. But he said, by reading this book, you're directly in contact with Rupa Goswami. So what are we reading here? The words of Narada Muni. So that means by hearing these words, you're directly in contact with Narada Muni. Just as much if he came flying in on, came flying in with his Veena, just he popped here in the middle of the class. He was standing right here with his Veena. We have just as much connection as that to the medium of transcendental sound vibration. We see that he became free from all anxieties by chanting. You say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let us not be fooled by the material nature. Let us not be fools who are befooled by the material nature. Be much of dimwits or blockheads who don't really understand up from down and down from up, you see. Let us understand and actually apply this science. When you put it into practice, then you see it actually works. That book, there's the truth works. We know it's true because it works. If you follow the system and you don't get the result, then give it up. It's bogus. If you follow the system and you don't get the awakening of love of God, then give it up. It's bogus. Krishna consciousness is bogus. Another bogus so-called religion. If you don't get the results, or that's if you follow it strictly according to the instructions given by Prabhupada, and you don't get it, then you know it's a fake. It's false. But actually, it's not fake. It's not false. If we don't get the results, it means we're not properly following the process. There's a defect in our following. You see. If you run the numbers through your calculator and you don't get the right answer, that means your calculator is not a proper calculator. Or you hit the wrong key. You hit the minus key instead of the plus key. You see. So the point is we have to then learn how to follow the process properly. By doing so, then the result will come. So it's all very clearly laid out. Avoid the 10 offenses. Do not blaspheme or criticize the devotees of the Lord who dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name. Consider the names of demigods equal to or independent than Lord Vishnu. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. To consider the blasphemy of the literature pursuant to the leading version. Consider the glories of the chanting of the holy name of the imagination. To give some interpretation of the holy name. To commit sinful activities in the strength of the holy name. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as some ritualistic activity for fruitive gain. To instruct the faithless person by the glories of the holy name, to not have complete faith in the holy names, to maintain material attachments in spite of hearing so many instructions on this matter, also being inattentive on chanting. You see, these things, if I'm not getting the result, then I have to see in what way am I not violating these offenses? What way am I committing nama-aparad? It's embarrassing, but we're actually it's embarrassing. Let's admit it, we're all nama-aparadis here. What's the proof? We would see Krishna face to face, eye to eye. All I see is, MBT. I see the Chokidar there. I don't see Krishna face. He's here, but I don't see him because I'm committing offenses against the holy name. So we know this is very clearly stated by Brahmaji. Preman jana charita bhakti valochane na santak sadaiva hidayesha valokayanti yaksham jagana svarupam govinda varipurusham tamaha bhajami. I worship Govinda the Prime, the Lord who is Shama Sundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable and memorable attributes, from the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. So if I'm not seeing, I'm not a pure devotee. It's simple logic. If the pure devotees see him and I'm seeing him, I'm not a pure devotee. It's embarrassing. What can we say? Oh, I'm not a pure devotee. So turn on I don't know what this is, some technical thing. So the fact is, we're not pure devotees because we're not seeing Krishna face to face. So someone said turn on the AI companion, and I did it. Is that okay? About how do us impure neophytes who are committing so many offenses, how do we get out of this position? Well, it's very simple. Prabhupada is giving us the handbook, the Nectar of Devotion, and so many other books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the handbooks of how we can get out of the illusion of bodily consciousness, trying to enjoy our senses, when actually there's no enjoyment at all in the material senses. The idea we can enjoy these senses is an illusion. There is absolutely zero pleasure in these material senses. No pleasure at all, is it? But we can take the tendency to enjoy and engage it in the Krishna service. We have the tendency to enjoy hearing some beautiful music, we'll relish the kirtan. To something beautiful, the deities are there. To taste something tasteful, take the prasadam. To go on, to travel and go somewhere and come to Vrindavan, you see. We can take all the tendencies we have to enjoy engaging in Krishna service. We'd like to hear some interesting philosophy. What's more interesting than Prabhupada's books? It's amazing stuff, isn't it? Really amazing stuff in these books. So if we actually tune in this process and follow what the results will become extraordinarily wonderful. Extraordinarily wonderful. If we actually tune into this process. We have to be patient. Even if it takes, the devotee is so determined to become the pure devotee, even if it takes many lifetimes, I don't care, I'm going to stick with this process. But actually in one lifetime you can see perfection. It's all it takes. If you can train yourself to always be Krishna conscious at the time of death, Krishna, boom, you wake up in the spiritual world, you see. So, let's be determined, let's be enthusiastic, and let's be patient, and the results will come. The results will come. And it'll prove the truth of this thing will be proven to you. Be proven to you, you see. If you stick with this process, the results will be, you understand this point? If you stick with this process, the results will come. You actually experience Krishna directly. It's like the Brijabasis. They associate with Krishna every day. The cowherd boys, the cowherd girls, Nanda, Jasoda. They can direct, even Abhimanyu, even. They get that association with Krishna in so many varieties of rasas or tastes. So we can also enter that mood of having so many varieties of taste, but it's all based on bhakti rasa. Once bhakti rasa is there, so many other tastes and flavors come, but we have to have pure bhakti rasa, that's the key. You can't come in with kama rasa. You see, the trouble is the materialists, they want kama rasa, they want God and sense gratification at the same time. Give me sense gratification and give me God. God, give me sense gratification. You see, that's the problem. They go to God for sense gratification. You understand this point? They go to God for sense gratification. So don't make that mistake of going to God for sense gratification. Go to God for pure bhakti.
That's right.
You may say, well, this is not so exciting to me. Pure bhakti, it's kind of bland. No, it's not bland at all. There's unlimited, in the material world, it's really grotesque pleasure, like the stool-eating hog. It appears to be great, but it's not really so great after all. It's actually just material sense enjoyment is actually a hellish nightmare. Bottom line, it's a hellish nightmare. See? So don't be fooled by Maya's slick packaging job. She'll give you a whole bundle of stool and urine, and packaging it so nicely. You're running to buy it. Everybody's running. It's packaged. Everybody runs to Loy Bazaar to buy a big box of stool and urine because it's packaged so nicely. The nice ribbon. You can imagine they're all lined up, a huge queue to buy buy a box of stolen urine, a bag, a bottle of stolen, a bottle of stool and urine, because it's packaged so nicely. A beautiful bottle, the ribbon on top of it, a beautiful, nice shaped bottle. That's what's happening. Maya's slick packaging job. So don't be carried away by the waves of Maya. Understand it. It's simply stool and urine and pus and blood. It's already in there. Stool and urine and pus and blood, that's all it is. That opposite sex seems so attractive, but it's stool and urine and pus and blood. Just understand the real happiness is when you come back to your original identity as an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of God in His transcendental pastimes in the spiritual world. And you can have that same nectar right here. The pastimes are already here. Sankirtan movement is a pastime of Krishna. Krishna's most intimate, most merciful manifestation is Lord Chaitanya. This Sankirtan movement is actually Krishna Lila. It's Chaitanya Lila. You can be in Chaitanya Lila right now just by preaching. There's like a picture of one little boy, about maybe 5 years old, in a dhoti with the shaved head and a sikha. He's going to you seen that picture? They call them bobbies, the British policemen with the big tall. He's going up to the little tiny boy, getting as high as their knees, going up, holding him in invitation to the temple. Seen that picture? It's in Thought for the Day tomorrow, you'll see him. About as high as their knees, and some hippies walking by, they're really having they're having a good laugh, saying a little 5-year-old kid inviting the bobbies to the temple. You see? Seen that picture? You'll see it tomorrow. It's really a fantastic picture. Tomorrow's Thought for the Day.
We are old enough to go to school.
So anyway, but you can be in Krishna Lila right now. This very minute. This Sankirtan movement is Krishna Lila. The most merciful form of Krishna Lila is the Sankirtan movement. Lord Chaitanya is dancing. Lord Nityananda is actually at Sarabi Kunj right now. And Bhaktivinoda will take us there within our hearts. We can actually go to Sarabi Kunj right now. Bhaktivinoda right here, right now, within our hearts will take us to Sarabi Kunj. We can get the holy name.
10 minutes. Are you gonna
Simply for
open
the price of
question?
faith. What's that?
Open for question.
Time for questions. Okay.
Stand.
Guru Maharaji, remind me. It's time for questions. Okay, you're the first.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. You mentioned that don't go to God for sense gratification, and another point you mentioned that we have to dovetail our enjoying tendencies in Krishna conscious way. So what about we are practicing, but in the garb of devotional service we are doing sense gratification? So how to understand that point? We are practicing now, but still.
That's why the spiritual master is there. That's a problem that you can read. I'm reading the Prabhupada Nectar book. Prabhupada is always there to check the devotees that they weren't going after sense gratification in the name of Krishna consciousness.
But now Prabhupada is...
Prabhupada is always there to check it.
How Prabhupada is
Huh?
checking now? When Prabhupada physically not present, how he is checking our sense gratificatory activities?
Louder, please.
Huh?
Louder, please.
I said, Prabhupada is not physically present, how he is checking?
Well, those who represent Prabhupada, you see. Those advanced devotees who represent Prabhupada, they learn from Prabhupada how not to masquerade devotional service, sense gratification as devotional service. You have senior devotees who can actually help you to do that. The Mahariskhan movement is designed to have senior devotees who can help us not cheat in the name of Krishna consciousness, for example. Yes.
But we are not, as Prabhupada, we have still so many faults.
That's why reading these books is very helpful. Reading Prabhupada's books and this Prabhupada Nectar book and reading is very helpful. There's so many instance after instance after instance after instance with devotee. Prabhupada would point out the fault what was wrong with the disciple. And to read these things is very helpful. We can read, there's so many things written by Prabhupada's books are there as the main source, and other books are there too. These books, and Prabhupada's lectures, it's all there. If we hear and read these transcendental literatures, that we get a very good vision of what's proper and what's not proper. And we can consult with spiritual masters, senior devotees.
Eating, sleeping,
Huh?
how about eating, sleeping,
Huh?
mating and all that too?
Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Well, we take only prasada and we mate only after Krishna.
Prasadam also becomes material if we try to eat for our my sense enjoyment. It becomes material, isn't
And
it?
if we try to, we don't, we also, renunciation can be artificial also. I'm a very advanced devotee, I don't touch sweets. Actually, Giriraj was, he's being very austere, he was with Prabhupada at some program. The host was offering him a sweet, he wouldn't take no, I'm very renounced. And Prabhupada said, you can take a sweet to please an old man, Prabhupada told him. So there's not artificially renouncing also. I don't touch sweets, I'm very advanced, I don't touch
sweets.
sweets.
It becomes like a sense gratification, then it is not good.
Can I see any more questions coming in? I don't want to get along arguments, I made the answer, do you want to get into arguments? I'm not here to argue. Okay. Personal questions, Dr. Ellenson, don't ask these, this is all personal stuff by emails, not on the class. Anything else? Yeah. All right.
Should we use yogas and asanas for reducing offenses by developing good posture and by developing more concentration by yoga and asanas, pranayama, etc.?
Is it okay to use some yoga asanas just to prepare ourselves for better chanting, like that we can sit peacefully?
Actually, Prabhupada said sit properly. Not that you have to do a full lotus to chant your japa. I better do a full lotus. No, if you sit erect, that's sufficient. You don't need to do a full lotus posture to chant your japa.
But for like sitting erect also, some yogas and asanas.
Actually, it's good. It's sitting erect. It can help you prevent you from getting a sciatica. And just for good health, if you sit like this, it can lead. You slump, it can lead to sciatica and over the long run. Sitting straight is very good for your health, also physical health, and it's good for concentration, also even for listening, also. If someone's giving me a class and you're like hearing the class like this, and you're really listening. But actually sitting forward like this, it shows the body posture will help you to listen also. If you're hearing the class like this, you know, are you really listening or are you just spacing out? This is like looks like someone's sitting and listening. If someone is sitting like this, it looks like just spacing out, they're not really hearing. If you're sitting like this, then it helps you to be, body posture will help you hear the class also too.
So Shilaguru, the question is, should we train, because not everybody can sit straight, so should we train by yoga, by asana, just to prepare ourselves?
No, you don't need a lot. Hatha yoga is not required to do all the hatha yoga. No, you don't have to go take hatha yoga course then with all the girls in their leotards or whatever. You don't need to go to hatha yoga class. It's not necessary. Just sit nicely, sit straight, and that'll help you. No, you don't need to learn hatha yoga postures. I mean, I studied when I was young, the full lotus, you know, not necessary to do this stuff. I don't do it anymore. I can't even do it anymore with the old body. But I used to do a full lotus, full lotus posture. Yeah, not necessary to do this stuff. Anything else? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, the sense gratification tendency is so strong at times that it doesn't feel like bag of stool. So how do we convince our mind when the force is coming and it feels like very beautiful, it feels amazing, the sense gratification tendency, it doesn't feel like stool. How do we convince ourselves this is a bag of stool? Not.
So basically when the sense gratification comes, it doesn't feel like a bag of stool, it seems like a piece of ice cream. So how to convince our mind how to deal with this? It doesn't seem it's a stool.
It's like that verse 270 is really good for this. Apuryamanam machadatta shishtam tamirmabhapapiyat vayadvattadvat kamayam pravishatya sarveshitante nandodana kamakami.
What is that verse?
A person, 270. Apuryamanam machalapratishtam samirnabhapapavisante yadvattadat kamayam pravishanti sarveshisantamapnoti nakamakami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but always remains still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who is trying to satisfy such desires. So the desires may come, the tongue, the belly, the genitals, they may come flowing in. The simile is, the water come to the ocean, but it goes back. So the desires may come in, here they come, let them go. Here they come, let them go. The desire may come, here it comes, let it go. Just let it immediately. It may pass through you, but you let it go. Even Jamunacharya, those thoughts would come, and he just spit at them. So those thoughts come in, here they come, let them go. Here they come, let them go. Don't hang on to them. Don't try to enjoy them. Let them go, let them go, let them go. And that way be detached from any material desires that enter your heart. See what I'm saying? It's natural they can come. Even Jamunacharya had memories from his old days as a king. But he's a great acharya, and those thoughts would come to him. Even the great acharya, those thoughts came to him. So here they come, let them go. Spit at them. Let them, here they come, let them go. The rivers come in, let them evaporate. Keep myself always a steady Krishna consciousness, no matter how many material desires may come in, let them go, let them go, let them go, let them go, like that. It's a good technique. It really is practical. It's practical psychology. It works. Not just some flowery words in Sanskrit. It's a practical psychology. You actually practice it, you've experienced it. You can be peaceful, and even so many material desires may be entering in your heart. Let them go, let them go, let them go, let them go, let them go.
For that, one has to be very strong.
No, even if you're weak, just be intelligent. You're very weak, that's all right. Be smart. Even if you're very weak, just be smart. Don't be a dummy. Just be smart. You don't have to become strong. Like Atlas lifting the whole world, or Krishna lifting Govardhan on his little finger. You don't have to become strong. Even if you're weak, it's okay. The devotee always feels himself meek and humble anyway. So just be intelligent, that's all. Just by remembering what Krishna says in the Gita. If you simply remember, that's sufficient. That remembrance itself is strength. Even if you're weak, if you remember it, you're immediately strong. If you don't remember it, memorize the verse and chant it often. Apuryamanam, made a part of you. Between each round you can chant that verse. Apuryamanam matadapratishtam. Make that a part of your daily sadhana. Remember to recite that sloka. So when you're attacked by these things, let them evaporate immediately. Apuryamanam matadapratishtam. Okay. And we have somebody coming in. Let's see.
Because time is running.
All right, time is running short. Govardhan, Jai Govardhan. In the verse 1622, it is said, just for a few days of service, one come to associate with transcendental world. Please explain. Well, even for 1 minute of service, Govardhan, if you do 1 minute of service in the proper mood, you can immediately enter the spiritual existence within your heart. Even for 1 nanosecond. Just like a laser beam can burn, a laser beam of light can burn through steel. If you can become laser-like in your focus of consciousness, even for 1 minute, you can penetrate the whole material existence and find yourself in Goloka Vrindavan, even for 1 minute. So the trouble is with space, once the space cadets, our minds are totally, it's called splayed intelligence. Instead of focus, we're splayed, Just like I had this flashlight, I can focus half a mile away, but if it can either splayed or focused. I have two choices. I can go half a mile away and see something half a mile away by focus, or it can be splayed out. Splayed means like this, and focus means like this. So right now our consciousness is splayed. Little here, little there, what's going on here, what's going on there, what's happening with Trump, whatever, a little here, little there, all this stuff going on. I want to just focus, Krishna, 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 you see. So, splayed intelligence is the problem. Laser-like focus is the solution. Okay, now we have another one. Narada Muni previously was a Gandharva. Later he was cursed to become a son of a maidservant, and this gave him a wonderful opportunity to become a Mahabhagava. So is it that Krishna planned to make him a pure devotee like Narada Muni who can travel everywhere and spread? Well, everything is going by Krishna's plan, but it's not forced, and Krishna doesn't force anybody to do anything. Krishna gives all facility for everyone to become a pure devotee. Whether you take it or not is up to you. But here we can see from what you're saying, even a curse is a blessing. So we may say, oh, I've been cursed by this and that, I've been cursed by this and that, but no, if you're actually Krishna conscious, even a curse is the greatest blessing. So don't ever be discouraged or depressed or de-energized by when you feel you've been mistreated or cursed. Take everything as the greatest blessing, and boom, you can become powerful like Narada Muni in due course of time. You can become a great Vaishnavacharya, actually, by taking everything as a blessing from Krishna, not being disturbed by anything. Anything else? We got about a half an hour left.
Half an hour left?
Yeah, 9:30.
No, 9 o'clock, sorry.
Yeah, we'll let a couple more, and then we'll call it quits.
Don't take so long.
All right, we'll answer his now. That'll be it. We'll sneak you in is a what's it called? An add-on. Okay, go ahead. You're an add-on. Sneak in.
Srila Gurudev, as mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, 9 stages of devotional service. Ado, Sraddha, Sadhu, Sang, Bhajan,
Yeah.
Kriya. The devotional service start from faith, Ado, Sraddha.
Yeah.
And in case of Narada Muni, first he get the mercy of great sages, then he start devotional service. So is it essential for taking mercy from the great sage before starting devotional service?
But yes and no. Prabhupada explains in the Nectar Devotion there's 2 causes or two things that facilitate one becoming Krishna conscious. One can be association with a sadhu or from a previous lifetime also. So one may have had sadhu association in the previous birth, and therefore it's already there under the surface, and it can come up very easily if one already had it from a previous lifetime. Or if you didn't have it, you can, by associating with a sadhu, you can get it. So either way, bottom line is sadhu association, the bottom line, but it may be from a previous lifetime also. You may have been blessed with a previous lifetime and a tendency toward devotional service, but by being in a non-devotional upbringing, it wasn't activated. But by sincere searching, it can become activated. By sincere searching, it can become activated. Knowing there's got to be something better than this, you see. Sometimes people, they see the material, they're told the material world is a place of enjoyment, but they know, I can see, intelligently analyze, it's not a place of enjoyment, it's simply going to the grave, that's all it is. There's got to be something better than this, you see. So such a person, from previous lifetimes, consociation can actually become attracted to the self-realization process and then seek out the bona fide spiritual master, how to actually fully manifest them.
In the
Okay.
Similar case in Ajamil, Ajamil case,
Yeah.
he also get mercy
that
from
was there
this.
from his youth, that's right.
He also
And he fell down and became a servant of a prostitute, you can imagine. You're a prostitute servant, prostitute seva, instead of Krishna seva.
He's talking about Ajam.
That's what I'm
Ajamil,
saying.
who
He was
get
not
the name of
prostitute,
his
Seva.
son.
Ajamil was not in a prostitute.
Who was the one that fell down?
Yeah, Ajamil fell.
Yeah, he became
he
a
was
servant
a
of the
Brahmin.
prostitute.
But he was a Brahmana.
I'm saying what happened to him for bad association. Seeing somebody having illicit sex on the side of the road completely disturbed his mind. So yeah, he had that previous qualification, and it came back again. It manifested by naming his son Narayan. That's right.
That's also given by great sages.
Huh?
Name of son is also given mercifully by the great sages.
What's the question?
Is the telling that the name, some sage suggested to give the name to his child.
Narayana.
What's it?
Ajanu's son, the last son, was named by one of the sages.
A sage gave that name? Wow, he took the sage's advice to name this son?
Narayana give by this.
A sage? Why did he accept the sage's advice? Is that explained? A sage named him, why did he accept the sage's advice? And anyway, it was his previous qualification and the mercy of the sage. You can ask questions after the class, unofficially, because Guru Maharaji wants to end it. But if you want to talk with me one-on-one, you're welcome. But officially end the class. Another one here. Two of them. If one is not able to find friends in Krishna consciousness, it's okay we associate with or seek our old material friends. My God. The spiritual master is your best friend. I mean, how you can say there's no friends in Krishna consciousness? Your spiritual master is your enemy? Come on. Get out of Maya. That's nonsense. Akuti Devi. My mind is like a pendulum, sometimes going here and there, only sometimes. We should learn from you. Most of it is happening all the time, going here and there. So we learn from you how to make it sometimes. You can teach us how to make it sometimes instead of all the time. How to fix my mind in Krishna consciousness and not to divert my situation. And you have to, it's very simple, Akuti, desire to become fixed in Krishna consciousness. My dear Krishna, my dear spiritual master, please bless me, I can be one Pakka Vaishnava, no more, bouncing back and forth, Maya, Krishna, tongue, Krishna, belly, Krishna, genitals, Krishna, going back and forth, no, but Krishna, 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 Krishna only. You see. Beg for him. You have to beg, like, you have to be, as they say, the duck who quacks the loudest gets the most crumbs, so you'd be a loud quacker. You get to bug Krishna again and again, constantly bugging, Krishna, please give me this, please Krishna, please Krishna, give me Anamaya, please give me to pure bhakti. You beg and beg him again and again and again and again and again. Keep begging. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. When in doubt, chant Hare Krishna 24 hours a day, and you'll be okay. Or engage in service, hearing, chanting, sweeping the floor, whatever. Okay? All right. So we'll stop here. We're only 10 minutes over time. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.